happening very slowly, but the winch is being moved into place. So far I've counted about 25 guys here. Yeah, quite a crew shows up. Looks like there'll be a crew working on that end and a crew working on this end. All right, starting to lower that very slowly. You can see the guys here on the end here are going to wait until that catwalk's in position, and they can go out and start. One of the workers is saying that since this is a road bridge, the salt that they use in the wintertime causes a lot of rust on the gates, and they have a hard time with some gates. They just rust in place. You can see that. Let's get down here. I would assume they've already tested out all the winches and everything, because everything was kind of preset and half lowered. They probably went through all the rigmarole and anything that was jammed up over the winter in the winches. They know that they can just come and go. They say they're setting 2 of these a day. They started with 15 up in Fort Plain, which is the westernmost one of these large dams. There is the Rocky Rift and the one at Herkimer, but on the large dams, 15 is the westernmost one. So they started 15, 14 yesterday. Today's Tuesday, so they did 13 this morning, 12 today, or 12 this afternoon, and then they'll keep going down until they're done at 8. And you can see the being lowered into place here. So you can see the little V-shaped ends there. They're going to help guide it onto the shoes. And you can see the blocks sticking up out of the water that's going to rest against. And here we go. The winches above used to be steam powered. They were first designed. There was a big old steam boiler and a steam engine up there, because I noted before they didn't have electricity out here. Everything had to be independent, so they had steam engines. And they found out that the steam engine running on that cantilever track that they run on was just too much weight. It was causing the members to bend, and so they quickly, in 1913, after the flood and they were making all the changes, they came up with the electric. And the electric was all supplied by the powerhouses. So the guy's up there, and he's going to chuck out all the debris that's built up on the catwalk. Catwalks were added after 1913, as was all the cross bracing. These were, the uprights are a lot lighter, and they, let's see, maybe that doesn't go down. Looks like it was moving, but let's see what they do here. They, the catwalk was not on the original design, and to help stiffen the uprights, because you had those long members, whatever, how many feet they are, 30 feet, 40 feet long, hanging there. To help stiffen them, they put the catwalks on, and they put the cross bracing on there, and it just made sense because it gave a place for the workers to walk, to operate on the gates, so they could clear debris and anything that floated down. They could walk along and maintain everything. You got a crew, there's a chain box up there, and they just pull the chain up out of the box, get ready for the winch. And let's see what happens. Oh, now he's moving. So the winch moves on to the next guy. And rinse and repeat. I'm going to hold off until something starts happening here, and they start lowering the gates. Get a few stills done here. I'll be back. So it's taken about 10 minutes to lower a set, which is why they pre-staged everything here. If it takes 10 minutes to lower it from 45 degrees, you can imagine probably a good 20 minutes to do the whole thing. And there goes the electric winch moving over. So they got one more section to put down on this side, a couple on the other. And I was a little mistaken when I thought that they were going to drop the one plate. It was just the weight of the plate itself that pulled it down a little bit, separated. So they'll drop that. They'll start dropping the axle gates here when they get all the uprights. And you can see I'm standing in the river here, and you can see the zebra mussels right about there. That's how deep the water should be, or will be, when the pool is full. All right. Okay, so it's taken about an hour, and they got, I think there's 8 sections here. And I was talking to one of the workers here, and he was helping me with my vocabulary. So these are uprights, and that's the official term. And these are gates. And you got bottom gates, and the top gates are floodgates, because they're the movable ones. As I said before, they were mistakenly called booley gates. But they're, and if you look, and I guess one of the problems they have with these guys is you'll see a little flapper. Let me see if I can zoom in here. There's a little flap door that has to fold over, create a seal between the plates, and they rust into place because all the road salt. So they have to beat those out and flap them over. Help seal up, otherwise the water will just run in between the gates. It was also pointing out that sometimes they have issues on the shoes, debris will hang up on the shoe. So when they're lowering the uprights, they'll have to figure out a way to clear the shoe off. Obviously they can't get down there, so they have to throw a rope or some type of hook or a chain down there and try to figure out how to get that stuff off there. Sometimes they'll just lower the plates next to it and try to flush it off. So there is a log hung up on the apron over here, but I don't think that's going to cause any issues. We'll see. And they still got one to go over on the far side. So I'm going to get down below here and watch when they're setting the gates. Alright, so now they're lowering the gate. The mule's already over there, so they might as well start right there and start lowering. The gentleman here was saying there's a locking mechanism on the chain, so even though there's a lot of weight on these, they have to be mechanically lowered. They can't just freewheel them down. They wouldn't want it crashing away like that, so it's very carefully lowered. And there's like a ratcheting system on a chain box that keeps them from just slamming into place. Let me get down here. Alrighty. You can imagine these plates weigh tons, so they carefully lower them down. Don't need to be slamming things around. There you go. And so first one down. Are you going to lower the second one, or they go through all the bottoms? So you can see the one gate here has 3 sections. The one is for more of a regulating, so they can, if they want to let half the flow out, they can pop off the top one or just lift it up. And if they got to go full bore, they can lift up the second one. Of course, they can lift any of the, what they call the top floodgates. All depends what the water's level is. So the far side, they got everything down. Keeping an eye on some of the rocks here. They start disappearing, I'll know it's time for me to disappear. So they're setting the first one on the far side, or the lock side. That's going down. They're getting the second one here. If you're of the mechanical type and you like working on old stuff, Canal Corp is for you. It's telling the guys here they're working on museum pieces. worker was saying they set from west to east. So they always have an empty pool down below in case they gotta drop the gate or try to flush off the debris. They're not working against a half full pool, so they always have the rushing water over the apron. Makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna start moving up the bank here because I don't want the workers here worrying about me. So things don't happen quickly here, that's for sure. A lot of safety people, a lot of people keeping an eye on people, which is nice to see. Everybody's got life vests on, of course. They got harnesses. They're working around the edges. There you go. Now we can get a nice look at that shoe that support is resting against. That's basically what holds the dam in place. These were designed that these individual dam sections could pop open in case of a flood, but they kind of eliminated that feature. I don't know if they were having problems with them just popping open unnecessarily or what happened, but they used to be designed, or when they were first designed, they could, if there was enough pressure against them, they could pop up and then push open, and they would just kind of flop open like a shutter, and that would supposedly let all the stuff pass. Never really worked well. What would happen is the members would twist, and then they would have to cut them free, and so the flood of 1913 really taught them that. Interesting. Okay, they got this one done. Now they're going to go to the middle. I wonder if that's for stresses, equal the stresses on the dam. But you can see that flow is really increasing over what's open. I'll go around to the other side here. You can imagine the straining forces on this, as they increase on this bridge as each one of these is set in. Keeping an eye on my rock over there, and it's starting to disappear. Yeah, Just starting to back up the water just a hair. Just from those 4 being down. Just starting to get wet over the top of it. Back to here. Water's going to start backing up real quick now. There you go. All those bottoms are in. You can see how fast that water's already coming up. And on the other side, that's how fast the water went down. Now we can really see the apron. You can see the bedrock over there. And you got this apron here. You got that stone pushed into the concrete there. So it's been 2 hours exactly. All the uprights are in place, all the bottom gates are in place. They're starting to put in the top. The water's already probably 6-8 feet deep in places. The ripples are gone. The flowing water that was there where I was standing this morning, all gone underwater. Beautiful day. I imagine it's not so fun when the weather is miserable. So you never get a super tight seal. But at some point, when they set the next dam at lock 11, dam 7, this will backfill, and this will all be underwater, because you got to have basically 12 feet of water to the lock there. So this will be under at least a few feet of water. So people are having a good time looking at river bottom, with the water being so low. Interesting time to explore. So that's it. The guy says they'll leave the 2 gates up on each side just to help regulate flow in case you get a rainfall or whatever. Navigation season doesn't start for another week or so. He says on the lock tenders they can drop these on their own if they need to, or they can call for help. But pretty much they are done. Everything is deployed. Everything went down without a hitch. These guys absolutely know what they're doing. Get a couple more pictures and I'll be out of here.